Um, so our outsourcing approach didn't envision a radically different applications landscape, which is what we are now moving to. So we didn't look into our pipeline and see the transformation program that we're now, I was about to say in the middle of. I think that's another example of over-optimism, but we've certainly launched upon. Our outsourced arrangement are fairly typical in that they're very transactionally based. It's about measuring things at the transaction level, measuring accountabilities at the transaction level. And they're built around service level and productivity regimes that drive a lot of cost into your business, and we all know where that ends up. They drive efficiency rather than effectiveness. We kind of measure how well you do what you do, however dopey what you do really is. And we incent you to make decisions that optimize at the transactional level rather than at the deal or relationship level. And they do a really good job of aligning our tactical goals. Get it done quick and get it done cheap. Couple of comments if I can. Think as much about the engagement processes as the production processes. I think they're already, I talk about big supplier syndrome. Big suppliers, especially in our geography, remember the size of the economy that I come from. Big suppliers, they have the Henry Ford approach to the engagement process. Henry Ford said you can have any colour you like as long as it's black, and some of the big multinationals tell me that I can have any engagement process I like as long as it's theirs. So the expectation is that I adjust the engagement process that most closely satisfies my organisation's needs in order to meet their structures and their engagement process. And I see the beginnings of that from organisations based here as well as some of the multinationals. I know what engagement process we need to maximise the benefit for my organisation, and if you're not capable of adapting your engagement process to meet those needs, then you're not capable of delivering what we need. Get the salespeople out of the relationship. I tried to find a polite and subtle way to express that, and decided if I didn't say it directly, none of the salespeople would hear it. Get the salespeople out of the relationship. Greengrocers. There's a thing called the greengrocer speech, which has become quite famous in our little corner of the world. And the greengrocer speech goes, if you put a shingle above your door telling me you're a greengrocer, then I've got a right to come in and expect to be able to buy the full range of fruit and vegetables. If you don't make any money out of selling potatoes, that's not my fault. I've still got a right to come in and expect to be able to buy low-margin greengroceries as well as high-margin greengroceries. Stop telling me that you're frightened of scope creep. I'm not telling you I want potatoes for nothing. I just want to deal with providers that can deliver what the shingle above the door says. And if the shingle above the door says greengrocer, I expect to be able to buy everything. A simple and I think often overlooked point, we need to extend the vocabulary. I think we're too much locked into a dialogue which causes you to tell us either yes or no. I think we need to help you get a lot more willing to say yes if and no but. Yes if you pay us. No, we can't do that, but we can do this. And that's the relationship dimension. Another, I guess in some senses, contentious point. I've been dealing with organisations from this part of the world for a long time now, and I think the time's come for us all to sign up for stop talking about the cultural divide. You keep telling me you're global organisations, and yet you keep telling me that I have to understand the cultural divide between your culture and the culture, to the extent that you can call Australia a culture, the culture that I come from, and you tell me about this divide between your culture and my culture, and then you tell me what I've got to do to close that. I think game's off, guys. I think we've been playing that game for long enough. I don't understand really why there should be that should be part of a debate with a global corporation anymore. And at the very least, if the gap needs closing, let's both do it. Again, simple point. My ability to get my organisation to sign up for second-generation outsourcing approaches is always impaired by what went wrong on Friday. It's always impaired by the tactical issues. So we need to work together to get the tactical issues off the table so we can start talking about the strategic issues. It's a harsh reality, but everyone knows it, but let's say it out loud. Our ability to do more tomorrow depends on how well we did yesterday, what we're supposed to do yesterday. Deal rather than transactional level measures. Let's work together to understand what we should be measuring, what we should be incenting each other on, at what level we should be playing that game, and relationship rather than transaction level goals and outcomes. For example, we're a service provider. We're Australia's biggest ISP. We are quite a big player in the hosting business in Australia and in New Zealand. It's a bit over to the right, New Zealand. What's your appetite for providing services to a competitor service provider? And lastly, and most importantly, make sure we win the World Cup. Oh, I wasn't going to mention cricket, was I? Sorry. Thank you.